The head of Christus St. Vincent Hospital is pledging again there will be no religious directives guiding the work of doctors at the hospital. Some 150 people gathered into a crowded session put together by the County Health Planning Commission. They peppered hospital CEO Alex Valdez with questions about a draft contract that had been circulated to the hospital's medical staff. The document, in essence, said the staff would not be allowed to offer certain women's reproductive services or honor end-of-life decisions. Valdez says the draft was circulated by mistake.
The process that occurred pertaining to this language, and the answer quite simply is that language does not appear in our final contracts that we are now providing to our physicians. So let me be clear with the HPPC and the county commissioners that are here. That language does not appear in the final contracts that we are now providing to our physicians to be employed.
Santa Fe and Laura Clark is a cultural anthropologist who was among those concerned about the possibility of religious control of the hospital services.
And it seems to me that the overriding purpose is not medical care, but salvation and redemptive suffering. And I don't believe in redemptive suffering. And I feel that with my own background and ability and logic and whatever have you, that I have the right to withdraw life-sustaining procedures, even if they are not in conformity with the Catholic moral teachings. And I am very upset that this is my taxpayer money going to our only hospital here in Santa Fe. And I really feel that everybody in Santa Fe should know what these 72 directives are. And my own doctor, who has to go to the hospital, is very upset about it too. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Clark.
The county contributes some $9 to $10 million a year to the hospital because it's a sole community provider. The county's Director of Health and Human Services, Steve Shepard, says there was a real need for the community to say its piece.
This meeting was called to ask questions about constituent concerns in the community about Christus St. Vincent and issues that have come up around their merger and any other issues that might have surfaced. And the commissioners thought that with the volume of questions they were getting, that it was just as well to have a special meeting.
Well, despite what it says, does Christus St. Vincent have a legal right to impose Catholic directives to its medical services? KSFR's Abigail Adler has been looking into that.
When Christus Healthcare System took over St. Vincent's Hospital last year, the local community voiced concerns about the religious company running what was considered a community hospital. Citizens wanted to know if the Catholic organization would impose Catholic beliefs when it came to medical decisions for patients. For instance, medical decisions involving reproductive conditions or end-of-life choices. Christus reached a verbal agreement with Santa Fe County, but an expert consultant to healthcare organizations tells KSFR that Christus would be within its legal rights to impose its values on the hospital. Jamie Orlikoff is in Chicago. He is a national consultant to hospitals, physicians groups, and health insurance companies.
If you have a full asset merger or if you have an acquisition, the hospital that is being acquired becomes a subsidiary organization of the broader system. So if you have a secular hospital joining a religious system, that hospital is now part of that religious system, and the religious parent or sponsor has the legal authority to change the services that it offers to be consistent with its religious directives.
Orlikoff says in the past, hospitals have been able to stay afloat financially through their investments in a strong market, in conjunction with philanthropic donations. But with the current economic crisis and fewer generous donations from local foundations and citizens, community-based hospitals like St. Vincent's have been forced to merge or be acquired by larger healthcare systems like Christus.
most people, don't like to think about their hospital. They don't. No one wants to go to the hospital, so they don't like to think about it. But when they need it, they want it to be there, and they want it to do everything that they need. And that's a very untenable position to have. So many times you'll find communities first paying attention after a deal like this has been done, or after it's announced that the hospital is considering a deal like this, and then the community rises up and says, "What are you doing?" And this isn't appropriate. But where was the community when the hospital needed fundraising or needed support prior to this? So and you're seeing this play out in communities all throughout the United States. But the bottom line for the community is many communities now don't have hospitals. The many communities have to take this with a grain of salt and ask the question, would we rather have a local hospital which takes care of most of our needs, even though it offers different services than it used to, or would we rather it go out of business but remain independent? And that, unfortunately, is a choice that many communities are facing.
Christus owns about 50 hospitals, more than half of them in Texas. It owns 7 hospitals in Mexico. St. Vincent's is the only hospital owned by Christus Health in the state of New Mexico. This is Abigail Adler, KSFR News.